So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Greetings to you. Greetings to you. Welcome to Uncensored Guyana. I'm Dr. Prasad. First of all, yesterday's broadcast was severely interrupted, and that is due to the power outages that we had here in the country, which disturbed the internet services. So it was very unstable yesterday. I watched the program back and I noticed that the second half, just over the second half of the show, the audio was lost and so on and so on. However, it was beyond my control. I was not aware of that. And the internet was really, really bad. So I apologize for that. But I'll catch up on some of the things that I've said yesterday that you would not have heard. So it is due to a fact that we had a long duration of power outage here in Suriname, in the capital city. And you know what happens when there is no power? The networks are having problems, the providers. So catching up where we left off. But the main focus was dealt with. That is the ungrateful so-called Guyanese citizen, Azruddin Mohammed, giving her womb away to a white man. Yeah, I maintain that. That's my policy. I don't believe in mixing the sexes. I don't believe in that. Okay, I believe that white should marry white, Indian should marry Indian, black should marry black, Chinese should marry Chinese. That's my thing. You're a Hindu, marry a Hindu. You're a Muslim, marry a Muslim. You are a Christian, marry a Christian. Then we don't have a problem, do we? That's my thing. I mean, you can have sex with who you want, because all it takes to have sex is a penis and a vagina. So if you want to have cross sex, socialize cross sex, intermingle, or they call it interracial sex. You want to do that, you want to explore, you want to experiment, you want to sample whatever. That's your private life, that's your personal life. But something as public as a marriage, something as public and important as continuing the legacy of your ethnicity, I believe that blacks should stay black, Indians should stay Indians, Chinese should stay Chinese, whites should stay white, and don't cross over. That's just me. A lot of you have already mixed and mixed and mixed and mixed. Well, good for you. But my policy is, don't mix the races. You need to have purity, uniqueness. You don't want a country with everybody's fucked up, everybody walking around with curly hair, or mixed, you don't know what color the eyes are. You don't want that. You need identity. People must be able to identify. It helps, it's beautiful. Diversity, you know, kaleidoscope of colors, kaleidoscope of races. You need everybody to stay unique in their own category. Then is when you see the beauty of nature. But you're mixing, you're bringing the value lower. Every time you mix, it gets lower. You mix, it gets lower. You mix, it gets lower. Purity. Okay? Pure Indian, pure African, pure Chinese, pure whatever, purity. That's original. Unfortunately, Azruddin Mohammed, who thought she had the right to become first sister, since her brother would have been president, because people told him and was calling him Mr. President. He thought he had that birthright. Since he is born in a corrupt family, And he had the right to smuggle gold and the right to do illegal business and the right to gamble and the right to do all these things. He thought that automatically the right extends to being the president of the Guyana that his sister betrayed. His sister betrayed Guyana by getting married to a white man from Europe. That's a betrayal. She betrayed the entire Indian race. It's a disgrace. You should have stayed in your quiet corner and be silent, rubbing that stuff in people's faces and expect them to love you because you have a white guy. No, it's bad. It's terrible. I don't know where to send you back. Well, Trump will decide that. So on the note of Azruddin Mohammed, I came across something on social media yesterday. Why is it that black people seem to always be desperate? They're willing to suck dicks and kiss asses just for some publicity. What is this thing about black people and publicity? Why not be quiet, earn like everybody else, go to your jobs or your business, go back home, be with your family, and that's it? But every time they earn some money, they think that they are entitled to be famous. This VPAC guy, this fella from the VPAC, the chairman of VPAC, what is it? Very PAC or very lack, VLAC, very loser-like people. Because the V is for very, and the pack of assholes who lost. I mean, who's the pack? You think you can just surface months before elections and you can penetrate them niggas in the ghetto to give you a seat in the parliament so you can look good to get some free pussy? VPAC guy, you think that's how it works? Azruddin Mohammed already arrested the ghetto with the help of the PNC that he broke. You can't penetrate that. So you collate with, what's her name again? The backward Guyana movement. You collate with the backward Guyana movement who broke ties with a party that made her. Yeah, the PNC party made her. Ain't no AFC and this C and that C. They're all PNC. They're all PNC. Okay, so let's say PNC, the Bornamites. She betrayed them. They made her, give her a name, give her some recognition, and suddenly she thought that her pretty face and giant build can tower over ugly Norton and beam towards them Negroes that is looking up to something, and they don't know what they're looking up to. Because the billionaire, he's short, so they can't look up to him. I mean, yeah, they can look up to the mansion that he lives in. That's where they were when they blocked the government agents from doing their jobs. But she thought she can pull all them Negroes. Just like the VPAC guy. They're delusional. They might be smoking something. I think she's drinking something. He might be smoking something. To think that overnight he can be president. Are you kidding me? That's it. I have a better chance. I have a better chance of securing many seats in the parliament, which I'm going to prove to a lot of you, than backward Guyana, than VPAC, whoever. If I and Aubrey Norton is on the ballot, if myself, Dr. Prasad, and Aubrey Norton is on a ballot contesting an election, I am 1,000% sure the blacks will vote for me. over Norton. Now, this VPAC didn't win against backward Guyana, and I don't know whatever deal he made with Walter Desir, but apparently he didn't get none. She's like, I can't share it with him. I ain't doing no threesome. I ain't doing no threesome. She shared it with the other one. But the VPAC, he was a loser. Now he's sliming. He is sliming. Every day, the man is dribbling with slime. Dribbling with slime. You can have sympathy towards a baby. They're so cute, so beautiful. I love babies. Close to my heart. He is dribbling worse than a baby. This VPAC guy is dribbling slime like an overdosed junkie on the fucking streets of All Boys Town. Behind the billionaire. Because he wants to replace the billionaire. Imagine that nobody voted for him, but he thinks because he is black and somehow Guyana belongs to people like him, he should get Azruddin Mohammed's place as the opposition leader. Yes, get rid of Azruddin Mohammed, fine. I agree with that. I agree. But the thing is, they're not going to replace him with you, VPAC. You must understand, nobody likes a loser. You see why President Ali is attracting a lot of people? Because he's a winner. People like a winner. Nobody likes a loser. Nobody likes Aubrey Norton. Look, I'm the only one who's talking about Norton because ugliness is kind of catchy. You know, it's catchy. It's like when people are cussing out, you film them because you want to see two neighbors are rowing against each other. The negativity in crime is what is inducing. Aubrey Norton's ugliness is enticing to want to talk about the guy. We all need a little toxicity from time to time, you know. No, you VPAC, you're worse than Norton. You can't take Azruddin's place no matter what you write. My issue with you is, and I want to quote you on this. You see, for the people who don't click on your stuff, I didn't click on it either. I just happened to see it and I saw one paragraph that says, the opposition voted for a candidate that is sharper, and experienced than President Irfan Ali. Now he is implying that that Azruddin Mohammed was selected or chosen by the people now in the opposition because Azruddin is sharper. Sharp. You know, the dress and the old slick and more experienced than the president that 70% of the country voted for. Imagine he just got 10% of the votes, but somehow this VPAC loser that wants Azruddin's place is now sliming so much. He is sliming so much that he has the audacity. No, in that case, audacity, according to Norton, audacity to make a comparison with Irfan Ali, who is now in his second term, to a fucked up billionaire with sanctions hanging over his head, who is a total loser, otherwise that they earn their wealth under questionable circumstances. Otherwise to that, the man is a loser in life. Besides his money, he's a fucking loser. Take Azruddin's money away. Separate him from his money, and you get my point. You will get my point. Because of his money, he tries to walk balance. People are around him because of his money. People suck up to him because of his money. Because of his money, people tolerate his bullshit, his nonsensical jokes, his bad humor because of his money. But if you separate the money from the idiot, you will see what I'm talking about. Okay? Good. So VPAC, while President Irfan Ali, is a grown man and he's capable of defending himself and capable of responding to whatever issues, it's not my job to do that. But I'm just saying, in good sense, come off the subject. Get off the subject. All of you and Backward Guyana, and all of you get off the subject, because I have news for you. Azruddin is not going anywhere. Sad to say. He's not going anywhere. Okay? It's politics for you. Remember I said there's some deal that is in the process, that's in the works, deal that is in the works. Remember I said that? Well, based on the deal that are in the works, behind closed doors, while all of us are talking our bullshit and politicking and speculating and all this conspiracy stuff, they're making concrete deals, which is going to guarantee that he's going to be sworn in as the opposition leader, sworn in, and he will remain active as an opposition leader and parliamentarian throughout the process of his indictment case. And the way it seems that he can possibly escape it, have it dismissed, possibly have it dismissed, and all the sanctions disappear. That's fucking politics for you. That's politics for you. While all of us are rooting, for democracy, for the rule of law, we are rooting for that. These fucking politicians are making deals behind closed doors, and then they come with a long excuse, well worded, well scripted, and throw it out there. You will do with it as you may, and done with you. You as in the public, done with you. After all, they have 5 years to get your mind off of it, to distract you from everything else that's happening. Then elections come, 2020, 2030, and 2029, then we will hear something again about sanctions. Then we will hear what was paid and what was not paid, who was complicit and who was corrupt. Then we're going to hear all of that. But from now, you will hear less and less and less and less and less and less about sanctions. It will quiet down. Other things will make the news. Let me give you an example. Over the past few days, the head of the CCJ, the Chancellor of the Caribbean Court of Justice, made a trip to Guyana under the guise of being there to witness the swearing in or to officiate some stuff like that of the new justice for the CCJ, which is a Guyanese judge. So the CCJ man came there. Now, as we know, the judicial system should be politically free. Free. It should be an independent organization, free from politics. Isn't that what we're told? Isn't that what we believe in? Isn't that why we put our trust in the judicial system? Because it is free from politics? Isn't that the case? But here you have the head of the CCJ that spoke over many cases regarding political systems in Guyana, especially the ones with the Ranger, the 23 elections. He visited Guyana, and all the political parties not met on a social basis. In his official capacity as the president of the CCJ, this justice met with all of the political parties that will be making the parliament. All four he met with. Oh, including Azruddin Mohammed, the opposition leader elect. Now, you see, Guyanese, you are smart. You're a clever people. While people like me is keeping this thing alive about the sanction and don't swear in the case and Azruddin should extradite, I'm keeping this thing alive. There you have the government of Guyana facilitating the official visit of the CCJ president to pay a courtesy call to a wanted man. Yes, wanted as in he's indicted. He's under criminal investigation. He's a man that has a flag over his head. If the boss of the Caribbean Court of Justice, the legal system, that is linked to the ICJ, that is linked to the global justice system, including the American justice system. They're all linked. He can come and pay a visit to a man that is indicted, that has so many issues and criminal thing over his head. That is what you call fucking validation. Validation. The fact that that black man, that Negro judge, the head of the CCJ, can come to Guyana and shake the hand of Azruddin Mohammed, it's over. It's over. It's fucking over. Done. Trump himself might as well go shake the man's hand. Donald Trump himself might as well go and shake Azruddin's hand. Shall I break this down? Let me break this down. Azruddin is indicted. They're busy with a case, which will be, the indictment will be unsealed. Then you will see everything. They're supposed to be sending an order, a request, to arrest him and his father and extradite them. Okay? The Attorney General of Guyana, on his platform, spoke about the situation that Guyana is waiting the request, which in the government has already discussed the fact that they have to extradite this man. Okay? All these organizations are calling for Azruddin to step down. There is a constitutional crisis. This is a situation that is not yet unraveled. It is not yet being unraveled. There's so many issues around it. The country can face sanction as a result. The parliament can face sanction as a result. All of that internal struggle. You think the CCJ don't know that? It's all over the news. The American broadcasts, ABC and all these other news outlets is covering it. You think he, the chancellor for the CCJ, you think he don't know that? But yet, in his capacity as the chancellor, the man who's supposed to be independent, impartial, stands for justice, follow the rule of law, follow international order. The man who's supposed to do that, who's supposed to know where he stands and know his boundaries, came to fucking Guyana and shook the hand of the man who's supposed to be extradited. Why? What's the message he wants to send? What is the message the CCJ president is trying to send? What? That he recognized Azruddin? That he, the president of the CCJ, recognized Azruddin and he's not even yet sworn in? Is that supposed to pressure President Irfan Ali to say, hey, back off of this guy, convene the parliament, swear in the parliament? This black man, this judge from CCJ, already had comments to make on the fact that the government should confirm these acting chief justices and acting this. Who the fuck is this guy? What authority he has to pronounce on these cases? What is he, a politician? You're a judge. And if you're a judge, it's not your call to make mention in the, he's not even a citizen of Guyana. He's an African. And you're going to make public statements about the government should swear in the acting. It's none of your business. The fact that you can breach that professional protocol and you can go and shake the hand of Azruddin Mohammed to confirm that, hey, I'm with this. You're out of place. And you should be investigated. The Chief Justice of the CCJ should be investigated. That is out of place and unprofessional. It is unprofessional. It's not your call. What, the CCJ is a political organization now? You're playing politics? I condemn it. If the Irfan Ali government is not going to condemn it, I condemn it. I condemn it. You're meddling in the political affairs of Guyana. You should stay out of it. It's not your call. This is why people have lost their trust in the system. It seems like the PNC's reach is all the way to the CCJ. It seems like the PNC's reach all the way to the CCJ is like you can't trust no black man, no matter where he is, would always side with the PNC and the opposition. No matter where they are, they always side with the opposition. Same thing like with the Americans, the black congressmen and women. With the Adriana case, they didn't know the facts. They didn't get the facts. They didn't hear the facts. They just took the side of the PNC and those Negroes in America that keep pushing the fake propaganda. And those black politicians in America took their side. Did not wait for the truth. Didn't wait for the truth. And helped to push the flames that affected Guyana. Now we have the CCJ guy. Sorry. I need anger management. I do. I'll get some anger management. I'll get, yeah. That's why you should say nice things, because when you comment and you say a nice thing, it helps me. It's therapy for me. It helps me to be calm. And when I read all these sweet words and all these love statements, I like that. You know, I like people who like me. You know, like when you call me or you text me to say, Dr. Prasad, how can I make a donation to you? How can I send some money to you? That kind of nice. I like that. That I'm in love with that. You know, so when you do those things, you kind of make me feel happy, because I have to deal with all of these people. All of these people. I gently put it there. I'm calm now. But like I said, Azruddin is not going anywhere. For all that we have seen, the fact that this CCJ guy, that act that he has performed is further pressuring the government, influencing the judicial system. Okay? That's what it did. So they're pushing to get this thing to November 1st or whatever date to get Azruddin sworn in. And like I said before, as long as they give him the Quran and they do you swear, which in he can't do that, but do you swear, blah 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 blah. Now you are this. He has legal covering by the Constitution. He is covered by the Constitution. When he's sworn in, that it's over. Forget the sanction, forget the bills, forget the taxes, just forget it. Azruddin won. He didn't get to be president, but he's darn well the most talked about man out of Guyana, more than the president. He won. And people would be very excited to report on his activities after he is sworn in. And whose fault is that? Not them niggas. No, they'll do what niggas do. Sell their souls for some cook-up rice or some fucking China money or some fucking egg ball money or some shit. They'll do that. Is the GCOM, the clerk of the parliament, and the speaker of the house who would have allowed this to materialize. Okay? They'll be responsible. But GCOM. Then you have 5 years of the new kid in town. All these politicians want it from the PPP. They're not affected. They're going to tolerate Azruddin. They will accommodate him because he will do their bidding. He will do their bidding and they would reward him by making sure that all his troubles disappear. Don't bother with all the shit they're saying and talking this and talking that. Don't worry about that. Like I said before, what is being done behind the scenes is more important than what they come to you with. The Mohammed's family owns almost 10% of the city or more. They have always owned politicians from the beginning. Always owned politicians. Don't you think they still own them? They still own them. Those people have heavy investment in the Guyanese economy. So whatever these politicians are talking about the Mohammeds, including the president, is bullshit. Just words. That's what they say in public. To create the illusion like they're against it. If you are against it, do like Trump. Do like President Trump. If you are against it, then let your actions show that you are against it. Don't talk shit. All the stuff they're talking about Azruddin, oh, Mohammed this, Mohammed that, sanctioned this. But yet you are the law, you're the government, you control all the agencies, but look how far the man has come. And now you're saying, oh, because we are a law and order government, we are working according to the Constitution. Continue. The Constitution also says that a Guyanese citizen has a right to be free, to be protected, to be safe, and to be provided for. The Constitution also says that. Is it happening? Is the government delivering on the Constitution when it comes to service to the Guyanese people? Is it? But when it comes to this most critical issue that involves national security, the fact that it has been established that Azruddin has deep ties with Nicolas Maduro, deep ties with Russian mafia, it has been established. That is not grounds for you to adjust the Constitution when it comes to swearing in this man You want to stick to the Constitution because you are a law and order government? It's only convenient to say that now. If you had gone after him since the time when the case arose, since the issue with the GRA issue, the taxes, when he had to surrender himself, since then you could say Constitution. But you arrested the man. You arrested the man, took him before the court. He is out on bail. Why is Guyana so fucked up, man? Azruddin Mohammed was arrested. His case is pending. He's out on bail. You're telling me the penalties for his crimes is a fine? You mean there's no jail time attached to the massive crime that he committed? No jail time, just that he pay a fine? But if he pays a fine, that's a conviction. He has a conviction on his record. Isn't it against the Constitution to have politicians with convictions run for office? Here you have a man who's before the courts, is before the courts, but he was still allowed to run for president in Guyana. I know you're saying you are a country or a government of law and order. Give me a break, man. You guys are just politicians. You're bodies. You are bodies. The Mohammed's family own the entire system. Owns the entire system. If I could bet, I would think that all these big projects, all these huge, massive projects that are being undertaken in the country, the Mohammeds, they have money inside. I would make a wild guess. They have money invested. Because all the politicians seem to have money invested in a lot of these projects. So their focus is on that. They're not bothered with these issues with what they call small potatoes. Their issue right now is securing their future, meaning commissioning all these huge projects by private contractors or private firms that they partly own. So when they're out of office, they have maybe 10 contracting firms. They have government contracts that can last for the next 20 years or 30 years. So they're good. They don't care about Mohammed and let them fight over that. When it's convenient, they're going to come out and talk a little 2 cents, chit chat here and there, and they're done. They go back to being investors. They invest in big projects because that's where the money comes, like a mall, like a shopping center. All those things are money. That's where they invest. That's where you see the politicians. The politicians, they show up when they're commissioning these huge places like big hotels and big this and big that, all the private sector. The private sector now in Guyana is owned by the politicians. Yeah, PNC and PPP. So politicking is over, elections is over, and all the talk about the Mohammeds, that's done. Now it's like, okay, let's just go with the flow. If the Mohammeds are sworn in and they become the member of parliament, I'm going to change my rhetoric regarding Azruddin Mohammed. I'm going to change my rhetoric. You understand this, folks? I'm now, if that happens, then I realize where I stand. It's a game changer for me. For now, I'll keep venting my frustration. But when that happens, when that time comes, it's a game changer for me. I would be personally betrayed. Personally. And I know there are tens of thousands of Guyanese that will also be betrayed. You know why? Because you know someone that faced torment, that faced torture, that lost land, lost houses, that lost all of that, that the government could have protected, could have spoken for, but chose not to, because there is nothing to get from that. Let me highlight a case to you. Let me highlight a case to you. There was recently a video of an old woman who lived in a property for 40 something years, and she was evicted. She built the house on this land, and after 43 or 46 years, some court in Guyana gave the so-called owner of the land judgment to evict that old woman who would have lived her life, raised her children and grandchildren in that property on that land. That piece of land would have been acquired back in the Bornum days. Who knows how much the person paid or if they got it for free? The person who fought that woman for that land, some Hercules guy, whatever it is, they could have gotten it for free, because we're talking close to 50 years. That woman occupied that piece of land. And a court in Guyana, based on all of those details, granted judgment to the man or the people who claimed ownership to that land after 40 years. The woman built a house on the land, developed it. What happened to the law that says if you live in a rented house for over a certain years, the owner of that house has to discount the rent, put on the current market value, and sell you that house? They can't get rid of you. What happened to that law? What happened to that law? You're talking about you are a country of law and order. What happened to justice for these poor people? What happened to the law when it needs to be applied to help the poor? What happened to that? You mean some guy, rich guy, could be a donor to some whatever it is, can show up and say, hey, he owns that land, and get some document to prove that the document is like 100 years old, and still can get a court to punish poor people, to benefit the rich? And the government who claims to care about the people does nothing? That woman, you know the story, should never have to be evicted from that land, because the fucking ground belongs to the country. When you get a transport, the transport doesn't mean you are the owner as an owner of that piece of ground. You're leasing it. Be it a transport, you're leasing it. You are allowed legally to do what you want with that piece of demarcated land. That's for you. You can take a loan, you can sell it, whatever it is, but the point is, it still belongs to the state, because if you don't pay taxes, the state can confiscate that land. All the land Guyana has. And yet when people are allocated a piece of land, they get a few square meters to hold a 2-bedroom house and no room to do nothing else. They have to play in their house, socialize in their house, and do everything in their house, because the land is so small, they could do nothing else on it. In a country that is 83,000 square miles of land mass, people have to be squeezed into small matchbox-sized house lots to live their dreams. If they need space, they got to go up. How is that fair? And women like that old woman, who possibly in her 70s, is kicked out on the street with her children, with her furniture, leaving the structure that she built stand up there. And they always get some fucking nigger to do the bad job. How is that justice, man? And all these politicians are gallivanting themselves around the country. Well, you don't see them now making all of these promises. From the time that thing hit the news, the Ministry of Social Services should have been on the case. The Ministry of Legal Affairs, Anil Nandalal, your office, should have been on the case. Get busy. What's up? Should have been on the case. Intervene. Protect your citizens. Fight for the citizens. They fucking vote for you, man. They voted for you. You turn your back. Let them fight their case. Where would that woman get money to pay lawyers to fight that housing case? Where? Then elections come again and you show up with your hypocritical self. You want to fight for the poor. Okay, you have cases now where poor people need a fighter. Where are you now? Every time it's some huge project, some huge this, some huge that, taking pictures with the elite. With the elite. While the poor people have to watch you on their telephone with disgust and scorn. And they're suffering. That's unfair. It is unfair. It has to stop. None of you, you are all far from Cheddi Jagan, man. You are far from Cheddi Jagan. It was a beautiful sight. Cheddi Jagan was like Mahatma Gandhi. The man like just loved to wear slippers. He would wear a blazer and a dress pants with a slippers because he wants to be comfortable, to walk the streets, to walk miles and miles with poor people. While he was president, before he was president, when he was fighting for the people, Cheddi was the same. He never changed. He lived as a poor man and he died as a poor man. But a mighty soul. Where is Cheddi today? Who in the PPP represents Cheddi Jagan? No, you guys are modernized now. You guys are evolved. You're living in the 2005 now. You're like, oh, well, that was then, this is now. Now it's all about business, investments, money. How much land you can grab and secure. Fuck the poor. We just need the poor when we need them. A few grants here and there and they should shut up. It's not good, man. That's not Cheddi's legacy. That is not Cheddi's legacy. You are misrepresenting Cheddi. Change the name of the PPP. Call it another name. Because it's not the party of Cheddi. All these Indians that are suffering, taken advantage of. Look at the rice industry. Who's doing it? The small businesses that wants a break, they're not getting a break because the big ones, they already bought the whole parliament and bought the whole cabinet. So no small man can penetrate that. If he wants to penetrate, he has to go via one of the big guys. And then it cost him. This is where people lose trust in politicians. They're betrayed it. Now we have Diwali on Monday. Then all these hypocrites are going to come now. Om Shanti. All of them will go now to the temples. All of them will go now to get their blessings. When their hearts are so nasty, they're not giving to the people. They're not helping the people. All the hypocrites. So listen, Guyanese, we will be directly affected by the war that has begun. Oh yes, it has begun. The Americans begin their operations in Venezuela. They're going to get Maduro by any means necessary. He has to go. It may not last the week, but if Maduro is clever as he thinks he is, oh, and by the way, as some of you would know, Maduro already caved. He caved, meaning he offered Donald Trump and America, Maduro offered President Trump unlimited access to the gas, the oil, the gold, and all of the natural resources of Venezuela. And Maduro also said he is going to break ties with Russia and China and Iran. You see who the real boss is? When a lot of you are saying that we have Russia, we have China. No, we don't have anything. We have nothing. The boss is America. The beast is America. Maduro caved and told the American government, listen, I'll give you whatever you want. Leave me as president. Leave me alone. The American government said no. As a matter of fact, let me quote what President Trump said yesterday. And I quote, Maduro knows he can't fuck with America. Oh, yes, he said the word fuck. So while you're telling me, Dr. Prasad, you know, I'm like an ant compared to Trump. Maybe if I was an American, maybe I'd be as huge, but I'm like an ant. And you're telling me that I shouldn't cuss. And the American president, Donald Trump, has records of cussing up to yesterday in the presence of another president, Zelensky. Well, he's an idiot. Anyway, in the presence of Zelensky and the world press in the White House, amongst the cabinet of the president, with all his people, Marco Rubio and all these people were there. Donald Trump said to the world, and I quote, Maduro knows not to fuck with America. He didn't say F or mess. He said fuck as in fuck. Like when he said between Israel and Iran, they don't know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah. Oh, and CNN played the same thing. They didn't edit it. They just played the same thing. They played exactly how Trump said it. So please don't tell me not to cuss. Please, I beg you. Please don't. Okay? I say fuck. Trump say fuck. So, we're good, right? I'm not a president. And even if I were the president, I'll still say fuck. Like in Azruddin's case, I would say, where the fuck he think he's going? Which fucking parliament? Yes, I'll be saying that. So Guyana would be affected directly. And I'm calling on the Ali government, the Ali regime, to close the border. Close the border with Venezuela. Make sure that you have a military there so that none of the Venezuelan immigrants can escape and come to the border, because they can very well be Maduro's people coming to declare war in Guyana. Close the border. The ones you have right now that are not documented, extradite them. Send them back. Close the embassy. Get rid of the Venezuelan ambassador from Guyana. Send them away. You don't need them right now because the war started. The American troops are on Venezuela's land. Okay? The Americans are on Venezuela. You see all those planes, those bombers, those warships, they're right out there, right out there. Their troops are on the land, moving inland. The war started. Pick a side. I'm with the Americans. Yes, because I like that kind of stuff. You see what I like? I like when police can use the force they need to use to deal with criminals. The fact that in America, they don't fuck with the police, but in Guyana, they're beating the police up every day. I kind of like the American system, because in the American system, they will tell the police, shoot them niggas if you have to. But in Guyana, they're filming the police getting beat. They're filming the police getting abused. They don't help the police. They're waiting for the police to strike so they can say, look, 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 extrajudicial killing. Look, look, look. So the police in Guyana need to have the authority with immunity to do their jobs. So when they have to go deal with these Negroes, men and women, they have to use force, brutal force, to deal with thugs. You can't deal with these ghettos with a Bible. You have to go with a baton and deal with them accordingly. But where does the police get that authority from? The Ali regime, the Ali government seem to be so afraid about the Negro population that they're putting the Negroes to control the Negroes, and you get nothing done. You get nothing done. The Home Affairs Minister was a man, a total loser. Now they put a woman. And as of yesterday, The police are getting their ass kicked and beaten. Black people beating up black police. You see why the police force is so small? Nobody wants to join the force. It's not sexy. Joining the force is like risking your life. Nobody wants to join the force. For what? That you can't use your authority? You join the force to do traffic control, to share out hampers? You can't deal with crime. Because if you deal with crime in Guyana, the way a police should deal with crime, you are held responsible. You, the cop. They give you now traffic cameras. I mean, body cam. The body cam is to show or to get the police not to use the real force to please the citizens. But look at what the citizens are doing to the police. They're beating the police up. They're slapping the police around. They're harassing the police in public, in daylight. Come on, man. Who do you think would want to join the force? The first thing is they're not getting a proper salary. They're working on a shitty conditions, and still they have to go out and they get their ass whipped by them thugs. Where is the protection for the police? This is why a lot of them are corrupt. They hustle when they get the chance because they realized what else is there to do. If you want to fight crime, you get into trouble. The criminals walk free and you get fucked up. You might as well just make a raise when you can. You have to give the police the force, the authority they need to do their jobs. Do like other countries. The America, Europe, China, give police the authority they need. Black people aren't easy to deal with. Imagine black police can't handle the black criminals. You want an Indo-Guyanese police to go deal with them, and the blacks can't deal with them? Oh, come on, now let's be real and practical here. I hope when the universe is ready for me to take that up, I hope there is still something left in Guyana. I hope there's still land that I can give out to the people. I hope there's still resources that can be exploited for the people. Because it seems like the system is in a hurry to milk as much as they can for the next 5 years. The Mohammeds will get richer. The PPP top brass will get richer. And the people at the bottom, the ordinary Indo-Guyanese and Afro-Guyanese, will stay poor. Oh, and poverty is beyond 40%. It's not 40%, it's beyond that. It's like 60%. When I say poverty, I mean the people who have to think about what they'll cook for tomorrow. They have jobs. They have jobs. But with all of the subsidies that are being put on certain commodities and utilities, still people cannot balance their budget. That's 60% of the country. The houses that are being sold, the housing scheme and the projects that are being developed, when people buy these houses, they still have to go and invest in the houses because most of them are poorly built. They're prefab houses that are poorly constructed. So when the Guyanese citizens get these houses from the government, they still have to go in their pockets and fix the houses. It's a sham, it's just a show. The land is small. The land is small. And let me say this last thing to close. We're the ones, not we. It is mankind who keep putting the caste system. Low income, middle income, upper income. Who is designing it like that? Who? The same government we elected, right? They're the ones who are separating the people. The poor from everybody else. The land of Guyana, the ground, belongs to Guyanese. Not the government, not the PNC government, not the Irfan Ali government. The land belongs to Guyanese. I can't understand what justifies that you make a low-income house that is shitty, low income, that is a slummish house, 2-bedroom or 1-bedroom, that nobody can live in, on a piece of land that you can't even park your car if you have one. But then you're going to make a middle income house on a piece of land that is twice the size of the land of the poor man. Then you're going to make an upper income house and the land is 3 times the size. Why are you giving priority land based on the scale of whatever house? The land is the land. All the land should have the same measurement. All the land. So whether you build a cheap house, it should not determine the size of the house lot. It shouldn't. You don't put bigger house lot in neighborhoods where you have rich people. No. The fucking land belongs to the people. Everybody should have an equal demarcation of land because it's free. The government is, when we talk about government, it seems like the politicians are giving this away. They're there to make sure the equal distribution of land. But what I'm saying is, it matters what neighborhood, what part of the country. The land house lot should be house lot. The same size across the country. You don't give the poor man a little thing that he can plant a kitchen garden, but you give the rich man a piece of land he can plant a farm. You're talking about house lots, all should have the same size. Because the poor man can buy a shitty house, but then tomorrow he develops himself and he wants to build a bigger house, but he has no room to do it. He has to now go apply again to get another house in a different neighborhood that has more land space. That's wrong. The land belongs to the people. Give every Guyanese an equal portion of land, same size, rich or poor, same size to build houses. Don't give priority size to anybody. But then again, who am I talking to? I'm not the one giving it out. I ain't the one giving it out. If I'm giving it out, you better believe it. I don't care how much money you have. If it's free, it's free. Everybody pay the same price. So if the land is 2 acres, the rich man gets 2 acres, the poor man gets 2 acres, everybody gets 2 acres. If the rich man wants more than 2 acres, then he buys another one and he pays for the rest. But when it comes to the allocation from the state, everybody gets 2 acres, equal. You want more, you buy more. But we are giving out same amount to everybody. My fellow Guyanese, stay safe, protect your family. Don't be pulled in and sucked into these political rhetorics. Don't sacrifice your life for anybody. Watch over yourself, defend yourself, and if you see those thugs come to steal your stuff, beat them. They enter your yard, shoot them. They attack you, attack them. Defend yourself by any means necessary. Arm yourself by any means necessary. That's the best way to do. Survive. Stay alive. And like I said, you're making politicians richer by making yourself poorer. Think like them. Be ambitious like them. Say no. They want to be rich. I want to be rich. I'm not giving to them. They have to give to me. Stop giving to politicians. Now you should reach your hand out. Let them give to you. I ain't talking about cash grants. Land is value. Forget the money. Land is value. Well, have a good one. If we have a good, internet and no blackouts tomorrow, because on Monday I'll be off because it's our Diwali and we have to celebrate the Diwali and stuff like that. And I can't be cussing on Diwali. You know that. I can't do that. So, sit around.